And good evening, this is Bob W6CGX, and I'll be your net control operator for tonight's Papa Great Outdoor Net. This net meets every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific. This is a directed net, so please go through net control at all times, and your cooperation is always greatly appreciated. Stations with emergency or priority traffic can come into the net at any time with a double break, and net control will respond appropriately. The Papa system is an open membership supported system in the Southern California area with coverage from the Mexican border to Paso Robles and from the Channel Islands to Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a visitor to the Papa system tonight, I invite you to go to papasys.com. That's PAPASYS.com and register as a guest. With your guest registration, you'll have 45 days of free access to the Papa system. At the end of your one-time 45-day guest access period, we'd love for you to become a subscribed member, continue to use the Papa system on a daily basis, and be part of the Papa system family. However, all amateurs are welcome to participate in the daily, weekly, and monthly Papa system nets regardless of their membership status. Again, this is the Papa system Great Outdoor Net. Well, good evening. This is Bob W6CJX, and I'm in the net control seat tonight for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. I sure had a good time today. If you weren't there, you missed out. We had a winter chicken dinner. No pun intended, but it was good. So I'm talking about the Fiesta, if you don't know by now. Anyway, with all that, it was so great to see all of our good friends and some new friends too. I got to meet a few new people out there. So before we get started, the announcements are getting shorter. We only got one more Fiesta for the month, and so we're not doing the 3-minute announcements. I'm not sure what this one is, but it'll be a little bit shorter. So let's go with the announcement. So stand by.
Here are the Papa System weekly announcements. The Papa System will be hosting the final celebration to close out 2025. We look forward to joining together and celebrating the successes we have had this year. We will now have Fiesta del Sur in the San Diego area at Cocina del Charro on Sunday, December 20th, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at 1020 West San Marcos Boulevard in San Marcos. Price for your Fiesta meal, including tax and tip, is just $36. Please use the Papa website to RSVP and purchase your meal as soon as possible so we can get an accurate head count for the San Diego Fiesta. You can pay by PayPal, Venmo, or credit card on the Papa website. Please note, you will only be able to purchase the Fiesta raffle prize tickets at the San Diego Fiesta. Please see the Papa website for a list of the raffle prizes that will be available. The Fiesta raffle prize tickets are $20 each and payable by check or cash. Cecil WD6FZA will update us on the work that has been done this year and what we can look forward to in 2026. Remember that the Papa System is a 501c3, so all donations could be a great year-end tax deduction. The money from your donations will go towards improving the system infrastructure. Papa has an opportunity to help this holiday season. Operation Cover Up. Papa members Kevin K4HD, Jason KN6SBR, Logan KD6LLB, and Scott N6ZAR are heading up a drive to collect jackets, blankets, and sleeping bags. If you can, please bring a new or gently used blanket, jacket, or sleeping bag to the San Diego Fiesta. Kevin, Jason, Logan, and Scott will collect and distribute these to unhoused people in the community. Thank you for making a positive difference this holiday season. The Papa System would like to wish all of our Papa family members and guests a great holiday season and look forward to another fantastic new year, 2026, here on the Papa System. All this information and a whole lot more can be found on the Papa website at papasys.com.
Okay. See, I promised it was shorter, a little bit shorter. So, well, that'll get us through the end of the year, I think. So I want to do some thank yous. I started out with like a couple, net grew to a whole page here, so we could probably take up the whole net with this, but I'm going to try not to if I can. And since we heard Steve, I want to say thank you to Steve, WD8CIK, for bringing the PA system. And it's so great to see him. He's a good good. He's a great Papa member, and he's been around for a very long time and takes care of a lot of our very essential mountaintops. So thank you so much, Steve, from the bottom of our hearts. Also want to thank Christina for, manning the check-in table, even though she did a lady thing. But she did a wonderful job, and it was so great to meet Christina. She does do an awful lot of work for the Papa system. Anyway, I thanked her, and she does a great job for getting everything paid. You know, there's a lot to do. You can't even imagine what they have to go through to pay each month for all these repeaters. So, like everyone said, that between the dues and of course all the great door prizes and things, or raffle prizes, the raffle tickets, that it kind of helps pay for all those things. It's not a cheap thing. Try owning a repeater yourself. And of course, thank you to Villa Katrina. I mean, they did amazing job, great food and great service. I don't think anybody will complain too much. If they do, but I don't think so. I think it was really, really good. Of course, RJ took our photos. We always thank him for doing that for us. And thanks to Kevin, K4HD, and Scott, N6ZAR, which I got to meet for the first time, for heading up and collecting the cover-up Operation Cover-Up, actually. But they did a good job. They took all of our things that we could donate to the houseless or homeless, however you want to say it. And we want to make sure that they're going to be also continuing that down in the San Diego Fiesta and Sorte. And let's see, congratulations to all of the raffle winners. We had a few multiples. Brian did good, and Gilbert walked away when he even had to put a ticket back and still won 3 or 4 things. So congratulations to everybody that were raffle winners. And our grand prize went to Mike, and that was the big battery that will power the city of Manhattan. So KN6LJF. Congratulations to you, Mike. Good to meet you today also. And to all that I was able to meet for the first time, I shook a few hands of people I've never met. So that was wonderful. And of course, all my friends from the past that we've always seen every year that we've been there. And our sponsors, Bob, KJ6UVT, Let's Get Ready. We got Marvin from Impulse Electronics. We have BioEnno. I think it's Paul, I believe, from BioEnno. They supply us a lot of batteries and solar panels and solar controllers. So, they did good. They definitely loaded us up this year. Of course, ICOM supplies the IC5100. I think that went to Gene. I didn't get his call sign, but that's almost a grand prize there too. And then we got the Zoom spot from Zoom Radio from Jim, and we thank him for that. And we did very much miss Cecil. He was not with us today. He was down, maybe down in the back, I guess. I've had some back issues too after putting the Christmas tree up. The thing weighs like 400 pounds. I think it was supposed to be for downtown Chicago or something, but it's in our house. So we miss Cecil today, definitely, and I'm sure he would love to have been there with us if he could. Okay, with that, any other announcements before we get started? This is W6CJX Net Control for the Papa System, Sunday night Great Outdoor Net. All right, nothing but crickets. We'll take that. We do crickets well. Where'd my cricket go? I'm really missing my little cricket. What are the odds of actually having a cricket sitting on my mouse pad while I'm doing the net? That was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he's still MIA somewhere. And it was good to get to see and meet Larry, MAE. He's got the best radio voice out there. He was telling me that my voice was good. I said, no. You got that one for sure. Okay, with that, let's see. We've done announcements. Let's see if Steve's out there, KI6LV. He was able to show me, literally, in the parking lot, in reference to the mountain right there in front of us, where his cabin is located. It's on the other side of the hill, but at least it was close. So let's see if Steve's out there tonight. Great spending time with you today also. And what do you have for us tonight, Steve?
Well, good evening, Bob, and everyone out here on the Great Outdoor Net. This is Steve, KI6LOV, and as I mentioned at the Fiesta today, that was quite a coincidence that the new location selected was right there at the off ramp I take to go up to the trailhead where I hike into my cabin, and that was a lot of fun. And I have to tell you, the Via Katrina is a rockin' house. If you didn't have a little walk around, especially go up to that bar area in the front, that's really quite a restaurant there. That is, I've never seen anything quite like it. And I just wanted to thank everyone for your support of my cabin stories and hiking tips and all of that I do here with Bob on the Sunday Night Net. And Bob, that bodes well for a future possibility of another Steve's Cabin Part 4 coming up in 2026. I think that might be fun as well. So, great to see everyone today, and that's about it from me for now. This is KI6LOV. Back to you, Bob.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'm laughing at something. I just received a message about my cricket. It's past his enjoy date. I guess they don't live a very long life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll work it in and really enjoy you coming on and spending some time with all your knowledge of being on the trail and all those years of hiking. You've seen a lot of things and experienced a lot of things, and just being able to pass it on to the other listeners out there that we have and participants, I think is priceless. I couldn't ask for anything better, and I wanted to share this net with you, and definitely you're kind of Mr. Outdoorman. I mean, I might come in second or something, but you definitely have spent many years on the trail and in the cabin, so you got that one. So it was great. Yeah, and can you imagine just going right up the street there, and there's your cabin. But you're right, that place was rocking, and it was well done. I mean, there was so many people there, not us, not even us. There was a line at 10 o'clock in the morning as we drove down past it, and that was not us. It was other people that are going there for the Sunday brunch. So if that doesn't tell you something, then yeah, it's definitely a place to check out. I'm planning on going back if I can again. Okay, thank you, Steve, and it was fun. Yeah, it was, and then we had to keep putting off the mariachis. They kept coming to the door when I come in and play. They sounded great. They were in the other room, but we were doing our raffle and things, so it wouldn't have worked out. But they sounded really good, so that would have been fun to see. Anybody have anything else before we get started on the actual topic of the net? It's not that big a deal tonight. I just thought we could throw a little bit of our learning thing, the Outdoor Learning Center. We'll see what we could do. So maybe we learn a little something, then we can talk. And if you want to just check in and say hello, more than welcome. I love it. We just say, hey, I'm out here. Good to see you today, or wish I was there today. Anything like that was good. Anyway, or if you have something on the topic, it's always good too. So let's stand by and see if there's anyone else has any other information or anything they want to share with the net.
KC6 WTN.
Mr. Jeff, welcome. He was sitting right behind me. I got to throw spitwads at him. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thought I would acknowledge and say a thank you. I believe it was RJ who originally,
Yes.
so I just wanted to say thanks,
Yes.
RJ, for suggesting this. I think it worked out really well today. We had a good turnout and things flowed pretty smoothly. And also personally to you, Bob, thanks for the discussion on my ClearNode and for the advice you gave. So back to you, KC6WTN.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I thanked him for the photos, but yeah, he was the instigator. I figured, if he was, if it didn't go over well, we would throw something at him. But it went over very well, I think. I probably speak for most people. There might be someone that didn't like it, but how you could not like all that variety of food and the amount or whatever you wanted, boy, it was pretty crazy. So, yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, we don't want to waste that ClearNode. You like I was telling you, you can just walk around your house and just HT on low power, and you got it. You're in there. So we'll have to get that all working there for you. Well, thank you, Jeff. All right, with that, let's go to our learning section of this. I think it's fun. It gives us a little information. Yeah, I use AI, at least for the wording. I take the text, I manipulate it a little bit, make it sound, add things, take things out that I don't want, and run it through our illustrious Papa AI voiceover section. And I think it comes out pretty nice. So it's just something to listen to for a couple of minutes. And let's go to that.
Welcome to the Papa Great Outdoor Net Learning Center. My name is Brandon, and I will be your host. Tonight we will be discussing proper food storage in the great outdoors. It is crucial for human safety, preventing wildlife from becoming dependent on human food and minimizing environmental impact. The best method depends heavily on the location and type of camping. Like car camping versus backpacking. General guidelines. Never leave food unattended. Even for a short walk, secure your food immediately upon arrival. Never store food, trash, or scented items in your tent. This includes toiletries like toothpaste and deodorant, as the odors attract animals. Maintain cleanliness. Cook and eat at least 100 feet away from your sleeping area if possible, clean dishes immediately, and pack out all food scraps and garbage. Check local regulations. Always verify specific food storage requirements with the local land manager, National Park Service, State Park, and Forest Service. Rules can vary and may mandate specific gear like bear canisters or park-supplied bear boxes. These are just a few examples of proper food storage in the great outdoors. And thank you for letting me share this important information. Back to net control.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for that. The first thing that comes to mind for me, and anyone that's been out on Santa Cruz Island for Papa Ham Camp, is foxes. They will get your food. It's probably worse there, I think, than maybe going to Yosemite and worrying about the bears, although bears are a lot bigger and worse things can happen. But those foxes, they're small enough, they can jump up on that table, and all you do is just turn your back for a second and your food is gone. So you do have to really, really watch that. And of course, they love it. That's how they probably are still alive today, by eating all of our food and things like that. But anyway, they shouldn't be having that stuff. So that was my first thought anyway. And so if you've had any experiences where we were kind of talking about this as kind of the food series for the holidays. We started with, Thanksgiving and going through the holidays here we had backpacking food and then this, just to, what if you've been out in the wild somewhere and you had the problems with raccoons or anything will come along and just if you leave it out overnight, so you gotta put it away. All right, W6CJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. Let's take a few check-ins, see who's out there, and we'll get the net started. So please come now.
Kilo 6 Hotel November Golf.
Kilo Delta 6 Lima Bravo Logan.
Kilo Juliet 6 Golf Echo Uniform Bob.
Kilo November 6 Mike Romeo Golf Chris.
Kilo Foxtrot 4 Papa Quebec Hotel Ron.
Kilo
6 Hotel Alpha Lima Al.
Uniform Victor Tango Bob.
And WDCIK.
All right, I think we can start with that. Sounds good. We got a nice, we got the 11, with a couple others there but I'm close to 11. So I got, who did I get? I got Adrian, Logan, Bob, Chris, Ryan, Ron, Hal, Bob, another Bob, UVT Bob, and Steve, WD8CIK. So let's start off with Adrian, KK6, H&G, good to see you. Happy to know that maybe Rick in 6IET might be. It was good to see him today. I don't know if he'll check in tonight. Great to see him. He hasn't been on the island with us for a couple of years with health things, but sounds like he's ready to come back. So we'll look forward to that. All right, let's send it over to Adrian. Welcome, Adrian.
Thank you, Bob. This is Adrian, KK6HNG. And yes, it was nice to see everybody there. You, Caroline, Steve, and many others I would not mention, but a lot of them. And yes, Rick too, of course. Talking of food, yeah, your third-party AI was mentioning backpacking versus car camping, and yeah, I do both. And actually, I have different strategies for each of the situations. Typically, if I do backpacking, especially in the Sierra, I use the dreaded Bear Vault, which is pretty heavy. It's almost 2 pounds, the big one that is, but it does the job. But you know what's funny? I've done like 10 trips like that in the last year or so, maybe year and a half. No bear or other creature ever attempted to check my bear can, play with it or anything. So, knowing these bears from Mount Wilson area, I believe they are smart. I believe they are already used with those bear cans and say, oh shit, they smell nice, but it's nothing to get out of them. So they don't even bother to touch them. That's my theory, but sure enough, I will continue to using them, especially where they are absolutely required. For car camping, I have a very different strategy. No see, no smell. That should be out of sight because bears have good memories and should not smell as sealed as possible and double sealed, so nothing will smell out. Double zipped, double ziplocked, canned, you name it. No smell whatsoever. And that will do it. However, one time I did it wrong on the island. Basically, I did not properly secure some dry, I think granola or whatever, and the foxes cut through my tent and had a feast. Okay, I learned my lesson since then. But, yeah, what do I know? They like to take socks and other things, those foxes, so you are never 100% secure, but at least try the best. KK6HNG, back to net control, and thank you, Bob, for doing it.
Yeah, I was going to add the socks part and bikini tops and I don't know, whatever the Rangers told us that they take just about anything they can. They have a fascination with all this. So it's not just the food. Yeah, you don't want to leave stuff hanging around as long as you're around the camp and keeping your head on a swivel, you're okay. And I think that's, kind of the challenge anyway. You get there and we've just had so many different little funny incidents. And the one that Adrian's referring to was, and it hasn't never happened before. It hasn't happened since. The Rangers came by and said, we're having a really neat information documentary down at the, the main area there, which is away from our tents. And so we kind of went, Saturday night, whatever. We'll go down there and check it out. They don't do campfires or anything. So we went down there and we watched the history of the Channel Islands and especially Santa Cruz Island. It was quite informational. It had like a projector screen thing going on there. Well, while we were down there, the foxes were just having a total heyday back at home. Anything they could find, they would take. And that was when Adrian's tent, they took their little nail and sliced it open like a precision surgeon and was able to get in and get, I think it was like an oatmeal packet or granola, something like that he had left in his tent. And, we scolded him when he got, I said, you know better than that. But anyway, he's the one that, and then he had his one sock, I think, disappeared. So that was pretty funny. Well, funny at the time. Well, funny now, but it wasn't that funny at the time. Thank you, Adrian. Well, I couldn't have described it any better than that. That's absolutely perfect. So, yeah, great seeing you too. And at least we get to see each other a little more than we do all the other people, but we do enjoy it. So look forward to seeing you again. And let's say hello to Logan. We didn't get to see Logan today. I know he wasn't there. I know. But we missed you. We talked about you behind your back and all that stuff, but said good things. Logan, KD6LLB.
Yep. I'm even more sorry that I wasn't there after hearing how great the place was, but I definitely missed being there. Still trying to shake off a cold. Did not seem like a good idea to potentially spread it to all the people on the Papa system. But yeah, I'll recover. I'm working through it, but hope to see everybody some venue soon. I should ID. This is Logan, KD6LLB, and so as far as food storage, a couple of thoughts come to mind. When I used to backpack, mostly in the Sierras or just anywhere, I never owned a bear can. I never used one. They are bulky. I could never visualize how I was actually going to carry the things that I wanted in my backpack and get my food in that can. So I spent I don't know how many hours I've spent in my life trying to hang food. And I always had the feeling when I would hang something that a determined bear could get this easily. And luckily, I never personally had a problem. I never got mugged by a bear or had my food stolen, even by marmots, really. I take that back. The ground squirrels and things can get in your food bag, like while you're sitting there looking at it, and they can do damage. Yeah, I definitely had some stuff sacks that had some holes in them from things that just tried to get at my bag while I was cooking. But I never had a problem with bears, and it was mostly by dumb luck. Sometimes when you're above the tree line, good luck getting a bear bag up 100 feet. One of the big things that I ended up doing was because I was camping with people that didn't have a lot of backpacking experience, I sort of made the transition to car camping in the campgrounds at the trailheads, and just skipping all the backpacking part and just day hiking, and could cover more ground, get up earlier, and get up to the lakes, fish, do things like that. And I didn't have to do all the extra work involved in backpacking, especially when I had people who weren't experienced backpackers. They weren't really self-sufficient. So anyway, the metal boxes at trailheads are wonderful, and they really make life a lot simpler. So one thing I want to throw out there as sort of a question to anybody out there. Has anybody had any experience with these? I see these incredibly or pretty expensive, supposedly bear-proof bags, and I just can't believe that they're any good. I mean, in the best case, the bear would carry them off, and you wouldn't see what happened to them. But I'm wondering if anybody's heard anything favorable or otherwise about these bear-proof bags that I see. And the other is a quick story. Hands down, the worst, most overrun campground I ever experienced was sometime back in the 90s at, I think it was Portola Campground. There were raccoons that were just mauling everything they could get their hands on, and you could hear screams in the campground on a regular basis. I even had one crawl in the truck, and ended up wadding him up in my sleeping bag and tossing him out. So anyway, that's what I got on food storage. KD6LLB. Thanks for doing the net, Bob.
And here I thought this was going to be a boring net, a boring subject. No, my gosh, you guys are coming through great. The raccoons are amazing. They have hands. That's about the only way to put it. They just have hands. They can unscrew things. They can, and so when I used to hike in La Jolla, of course, there's no bears, probably some bobcats. Yeah, probably a mountain lion or two. Thought about that, but tried not to think about it. But definitely raccoons and rats. They have the little pack rats or whatever they call those darn things. And they'd come up, you leave some, let's say a roll of toilet paper out, it's gone. Or at least there's a bunch of it gone. They chew it all up and take it back to their nest. But I came up with these, what are they? The Creamer Coffee Mate. Did you get it? Probably Smart and Final or the big ones, the big plastic ones with the red lid. I have a bunch of those. I just kind of keep them. And those are great for putting all your food in, because I agree the bear canisters are just like almost too bulky. They're not that heavy, and you put your stuff in it, okay, but then it's just taking up all the space in your pack that you're like, wow, if you didn't have to have that, you could have packed everything in there nice and neatly. And I haven't heard about the bear bags, so I'll have to look into that too, just to see what those are all about. But yeah. There's definitely you got to do what you can for what region you're in. I used to not just go camping where there's a bear, at least that. But then you're kind of losing out on some of the seem like all the great scenery areas like Yosemite and all the other great parks got bears. So that's the only thing you can do. Thank you, Logan. Hope you feel better. I know I went through like a 2 or 3 week cold. I hadn't had one in years, but I made it, and yeah, it was kind of a bummer, right? You just don't want to get around too many people with it, but I appreciate that and did miss you for sure. Absolutely. We said that several times. Let's say hello to Bob, KJ6GEU, who we saw and was pretty close. Where was he sitting? He was sitting on the other side, but got to speak to him a couple times. So welcome, Bob. And how was your impression of the Fiesta?
Hey, Bob, and everyone on the net. This is another Bob, KJ6GEU, Papa 1 and Simi. Yeah, the Fiesta was a lot of fun. And there were a heck of a lot of people there, not just us, but I mean the whole place was packed. And it looks like it's definitely a hot spot. I guess they have a Sunday brunch there that brings a lot of people in. So anyway, yeah, definitely enjoyed it. I always love making it to these events. Can't always make it to some of the other breakfasts and lunches, but always like to make it to the picnic in the summer and the Fiesta in the winter. So yeah, bears. It's not just food storage. Sometimes, I think I told this story a few weeks ago. Some friends and I took a motorcycle trip up to Mammoth a few years ago and stayed at my condo. And during the trip, one of my friends rode over to Nick and Willie's, the pizza place there in Mammoth, and brought a pizza back on the back of his bike, in the tour pack of his motorcycle, around 8 o'clock. It was a delicious pizza. Around midnight, we heard the alarm go off on one of the bikes, and it lasted a couple minutes, and we stuck our heads out, didn't see much of anything, didn't worry about it until the next morning. We got out there, and his bike was all chewed. And I guess the bear had smelled whatever was remaining of the odor from the pizza in his tour pack, chewed the seats all up, and it was a crazy mess. So yeah, sometimes you don't even have to store food; just the odor will cause the bears to look for it. And this is really important too, because they've done a pretty good job of it up in Mammoth, but a lot of the residential areas down here, people don't pay attention to bear-proof trash cans and food storage and stuff, and you don't want a bear to be labeled a problem bear, because if they are, they're going to be a target, and you don't want to see the bears get killed. So really try to keep everything secure, and don't tempt the bears. You don't want to feed them. Anyway, with that, I'll send it back to Net Control. Again, had a great time at the Fiesta, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys all again in June. KJ6GEU, back to Net. Thank you, Bob.
Well, thank you, Bob. Yeah, it was great to see you too. And yeah, I remember that was a good story. And well, it kind of prompted this, topic for tonight. I just figured we were kind of doing this food series through from Thanksgiving to here, and then it's, even though it's backpack and camping related, because it's the Outdoor Net, so why wouldn't it be? But I figured it was a good idea to just kind of think about that. But yeah, I think what like you hit on is that people come up to Mammoth in different places, and we're from the city. We don't worry about, we don't have no stinking bears. They just we don't, so people just don't think about it. I mean, look at things that people do anyway on a daily basis, and you wonder, like, do these people have common sense or what? But it all falls apart when you get in the wild, I suppose, especially if they don't go very often or haven't had an issue like what you had, where you'd know, and the next time go, okay, the other guy's ordering the pizza, not me, and you're going to take it home in your bike and not my bike. So that's how you learn from your mistakes. Thank you, Bob. And let's say hello to Chris, KO6MRG. Good evening, Chris, and welcome to the net.
Hey, Bob. Thank you for running the net, as always. This is Kilo November 6, Mike Romeo Golf. Yeah, so this last June, I was up in Kennedy Meadows camping with a bunch of guys riding. I had driven up in my truck and was sleeping in it, and on the way up, we got some text messages to just be careful about food because the first guy showed up a day early and they had a bear come into their and like jump on their fridge off the side of their trailer. So then I'm sleeping in the bed of my truck. A friend of mine is sleeping on his cot, like probably 10 yards south of me. He's fine, whatever. All of a sudden, the car alarm with another car goes off, and we all wake up, and a bear had picked up a Yeti out of the bed of a Nissan Frontier and was devouring the internals of it, all the food, and just having a field day, and wouldn't go. Then in the morning, what we heard was there were two bears from Yosemite Valley that were problematic that they relocated to Kennedy Meadows. So my friend that was sleeping on a cot at the base of me in the morning, when he woke up, the bear had opened his bag, which was right next to him, and opened the beef jerky bag and ate it all without him realizing it, without making a scratch on anything. Like, just complete human hands, open, take it out, eat it. And it's kind of awkward for me because I'm type 1 diabetic, so I have to, like, sleep with food on me in case my blood sugar goes low. So that's a whole nother mental weird thing. But, yeah. It was kind of fun to learn a bunch of stuff, and that bear, yeah, hopefully is just enjoying the wilderness and find some good food instead of human food. I'll be clear. Thank you for the net, KN6MRG.
Well, thank you, Chris. As always, you always have a good story for us. I guess, yeah, you could probably, bear could get into a Yeti. They just have those two rubber deals that come down and lock it in. So I'm sure they've got that. They probably study that in bear school, how to break into different coolers. And that brings up, I wanted to mention, this is really my only tragical, is that a word? Tragic story with food in the great outdoors. Carolyn and I had gone up to Lake Cachuma, and we went out to a place called Jocko's up in north of Santa Maria in Napomo. And it's a very nice restaurant. Well, it's like a casual restaurant, but it's, expensive, but they have great food. So anyway, they have some really good halibut, and they're known for their steaks. So we, indulged ourselves and had a little bit of leftover and took it back with us. And what I was thinking, I have no idea. And we were in our trailer. I could have put it in the back of the truck. They don't maybe have bears there. They could, but it wasn't a bear. I think it was more like a raccoon. So I stuck it in the ice chest and had ice in it or whatever. And I put it underneath the trailer step thinking, well, they're not going to be able to open it. Well, they did. I don't know how. They had to push the button and they opened the thing. And so the steak and the halibut were both gone. I think they left the tartar sauce and there was a baked potato that I think we threw in there too, but just whatever we had left over. And it was a really expensive everything. The food was expensive. So it wasn't so much the cost, but, I kind of was looking forward to slicing that, at least the steak up the next day or when we got back home, put it on a piece of bread, make a sandwich out of it. W6CJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. Thank you, Chris, as always. Ron, KF4PQH, all your travels and your RV and stuff. I'm sure you guys did pretty well. keeping everything safe because, an RV is pretty safe, I suppose. I guess a bear could try to get in, but did you have anything kind of go wrong that you might have forgot about or something like that? And while you were camping, went, oh no, you would have liked these steaks too, because I know you like steaks. These steaks, they're like red oak barbecued over coals. Oh my gosh, and the seasoning, it's to die for. They call them Spencers, and I think they're actually it's a boneless ribeye, and they call it a Spencer. Let me send it over to you, Ron. KF4PQH.
Good evening, Bob. And that is KF4PQH in Locust Grove, Virginia. You got me drooling there about those steaks, Bob. sounds delish. Unfortunately, what a loss. Sorry to hear that. It's interesting. Over the 10 years, and we camped in some places where there were supposedly bears and other wildlife to be concerned with, and never really had a problem. Of course, we had a refrigerator inside the motorhome. But, you do see these movies where a bear every once in a while will come along and find a van somewhere that's got a cooler in it and literally tear the doors off the van and get inside and get the food and tear it apart. So that is always a possibility. But in our 10 years out there on the road, we really not had a major problem. And there were times, actually, I had a small grill. I left that sitting out on a table, and I said to myself sometimes, maybe I should lock it up in a compartment because that would probably attract a raccoon or something. But never really an issue. So an East Coast bear story, aunt of mine who lived in Morris County, New Jersey, a town called Rockaway, and she was in a development. And believe it or not, there are lots of bears in New Jersey, in northern New Jersey. They haven't been hunted for years. They're all over the place. And her biggest problem was that she'd frequently find bear scat in her driveway, and trash. You couldn't put the trash out until, about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning on the day it was going to be picked up because the bears would wander in and get the trash. So even in a place like New Jersey, you're going to find bears and things out there. But glad everybody had a great time at Fiesta del Norte and looking forward to Fiesta del Sol, I believe it is. And coming up, sorry, I guess that's never going to be in my cards out there, but I'd love to get together with some of you guys sometimes. And, if you're ever out here in Virginia, let me know. And if you're camping, we even have a campground inside the community here. So this is KF4PQH, back to net control, and keep looking for Christmas. Keep looking for the real Christmas, and don't get upset about anything going on. Just reach out there and enjoy. It's KF4PQH, back to net control.
Well said. Yeah, look for the real Christmas. Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, that's you never think about like New Jersey and New Jersey and New York and upstate New York. I mean, there's actually forests and trees. Think of it as being, this big downtown area, which is true. I've been to New Jersey for a training thing, and I've seen New York from a plane and from New Jersey, actually, looking across over. I saw the Empire State Building, I guess, but the Statue of Liberty, that stands out the most. But, who would think, bears in Jersey. I don't have a good Jersey accent. But I like it. I like I like that East Coast sound. All right. Thank you, Ron. Well, you guys have a great rest of the week. And we're starting it here on Sunday nights. It's just like it is on your medicine thing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, W6EJX for the Papa System. Great Outdoor Net. And let's say hello to Hal. K6HAL. I hope that you're going to Fiesta del Sur. And I think you'll like it. Well, it's like the same food, but maybe it's close.
November 6th, Hotel Alpha Lima. Thank you, Bob. And yes, I am going to the Fiesta. And for your info and others, the restaurant name is Cocina del Charro. Well, I was a spoiled camper. I pretty much camped in pickup trucks with campers on them, or travel trailers, or motorhomes. So I didn't have much of a problem or ever do much food storage outside. If I did, it was in an ice chest, and we brought it in at night anyway, but never had too many problems. The only thing I had stolen from me wasn't by a bear; it was by a human bear, I think. Young human bears stole my ice chest, which was still outside. It wasn't full of food, but it was full of beer. And real stories: fishing with my family up at Bishop in the Sierras. We had a bear enter our camp one night, and there was 3 or 4 of us campers, and the bear crawled in and out of my son's pickup, my pickup, and tossed around our ice chest, but didn't break them open. But he went over to my son-in-law's trailer, and he left his ice chest outside, and the bear commenced to tearing my son-in-law's ice chest lid off, not off, but got it open, and there was all kinds of sodas in there, and orange juice and milk, and we all heard the commotion, and it was in the morning, and we looked on the other side of my son-in-law's trailer, and the bear was laying on his back in the road, drinking a carton of milk that he'd gotten out of the ice chest, and just drank it all. So my son-in-law was upset about that. So the next night, he took the ice chest, took all the food and sodas out of it, and milk out of it, filled it full of rocks, and set it outside again. And by George, that bear came back the next night or morning and tore that ice chest lid off again. And I think he got a little disturbed when he saw the rocks in there. He kind of tossed them around a little bit. And that's my food storage stories for camping. N6HAL, back to the net.
That was great. Yeah, that's very good. Especially surprising the bear. I think, like what Logan said, I think they have a good memory. You know, they can, wait a minute, I got into that one the other night. That was pretty good. You know, of course, what do they say? You've got the bare necessities. It was my best shot. Thank you, Hal. And that was good. Yeah, I remember you telling us about the ice chest with the beer, and it wasn't so much the beer that was my favorite ice chest too. That's great too. Definitely, for sure. All right. Well, I'm out of stories, so I'm going to go to the next station. I know I'm sparing everyone. KJ6UVT. Bob, always great to see Bob. I get to see Bob probably more than anybody because he's at probably every breakfast and every luncheon. But welcome to the net, Bob, and thanks for all your donations, to the Papa system so that we could have a great raffle. Take it away, Bob.
Yeah, good evening, Bob. This is the KJ6UVT. Nice to see everybody today at the Papa meeting. I like the restaurant and the food and eating too much. Everything, yeah. My beer experience, it's about 20-something years ago. I even don't remember it's Kenya or Yosemite. And we have a group of people, like 20 of them, and somehow our group, someone forgot to put their salt and pepper cans back to the bear bins, and that night, the bears come to grab them, and for the next 2 days, and 2 nights actually, and we hear the bears coming back to looking for some other stuff. That's my experience. The KJ6UVT, and back to Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, that was pretty wonderful, wasn't it? I went and discovered the shrimp cocktail. At least that's what it said it was supposed to be, and it was absolutely out of the world. I wish I would have found it earlier when I was, just getting a couple plates or two. They had so much there, unbelievable soups but the shrimp cocktail I recommend it highly. There's a big vat of it with the best sauce and with a huge shrimp in it. It was first class for sure. All right. Thank you, Bob, as always, like I said, and thank you for sponsoring all the great radios for the Papa system. I'm sure everyone enjoys that very, very much. And last but not least, we've got Steve, WD8CIK. It was great to see you today, too. And welcome to the great outdoors.
Roger, mister. Yeah, good to see everybody. And I can only speak for a little while, but I'm going to get my last, the doctor visit this Wednesday to see if I'm cancer free. But thanks for all you guys hanging in there. And I don't have a lot of volume, busy venues, but it was good to see everybody, and I loved it. And what else I had there for? RJ with finding a restaurant. Oh my God, you could eat till you drop. My goodness. And crickets. Oh yeah, you're talking about crickets. My garage got infested by crickets for for about a week, and they all went away. And that's about it. I probably had some more stuff, but it's a pleasure to see everybody there. And it was really, it's so noisy there. I just couldn't, push my volume on my voice up that high, but it was good to see everybody. Everybody welcomed everybody. Back to you, Mr. Net Control. I'm glad they, acknowledge all you net controllers. It's not an easy job, So there you go. It's it's a whole group here that keeps this thing going. Back to you, Bob. WDHCIK.
Well, thank you, Steve. You've always been so kind in complimenting all of us net controllers out here. And yeah, it's a commitment, kind of like a job. I kind of treat it like a job now that I'm retired. I just figure, hey, this is what I do or whatever. And I have fun with it. I have a lot of fun with it. And believe me, if you're not having fun doing net control, you should not be doing it. But it is a lot of fun, and I enjoy talking to people and hearing their, especially, on the outdoor net, we cover subjects that I'm fond of with the outdoors. And I wouldn't say I'm an expert at by no means, but I do have spent a lot of time. So it's a lot of fun for me to hear everybody's knowledge, and we share it out here. So, but thank you for bringing the speakers and the PA. And yeah, you did good. I could hear you. But it was very noisy, and the acoustics in there, wow, as you know, right? It was crazy. All kinds of stuff bouncing off everywhere. So it wouldn't have been a good recording studio room. Okay, this is W6EJX for the Papa System Great Outdoor Net. I'm out of stations. Let's see if we can take a few more. We're at 9 o'clock already. Wow, time flies when we're having fun. Let's see who else is out there tonight. Please come now.
Giant squirrel overhead. November 6 Zulu Alpha Romeo, Scott.
I think they call that a pileup.
KC6 WTN.
Okay, let's see. Who did I get here? I got Larry, I got Monty, I got Scott, and I got Jeff. So if you didn't just get your name called and you just tried to check in, please come back.
KO6 KPZ, Andy.
Whiskey 8 Kilo November X-ray, Rory.
Kilo Juliet 7 India Yankee Charlie Mikey.
Okay, we picked up Rory and Mikey and Andy. There we go. I think that'll work. Let's see what we got. All right, well, let's start at the top and let's talk to Larry. Good to see old Larry there. Well, can't wait to hear your voice. I know we make a big deal out of your voice, but it is pretty nice. We enjoy that. But it was great to see you. I don't know that I met you before. Carolyn said she met you at a picnic about 2 years ago, and maybe I did. But I'm always at the picnics. I'm running around because it's my turn to do the sound stuff. So that's probably what I was doing. But it was great to meet you today in either way. So welcome, Larry, and what you got for us tonight?
Oh, good evening, Bob. It was great to meet you and Carolyn again. I think I'd met Carolyn before, but I forgot. Very lovely lady, and you're very entertaining as well. Really enjoyed the day. First time I've won any prizes. It's probably about 5 Papa events I've been to. But I cleaned up, bought 2 tickets and won on 2 tickets, so that was good. And you're talking about Jocko's? Probably the best steak place I've ever been to. Out there, outside of Arroyo Grande in the middle of the farm country. You come up to that little restaurant, boy, it's packed at 5 o'clock already. You could hardly get in, but it was good. I got a couple bear stories. We'll try to make them quick because we're running out of time probably. We were camping back in the 60s somewhere, probably in the middle 60s, late to 68, somewhere around in there, outside of in a station wagon. We'd taken a trip, 2 kids, a dog, and my wife, and we pulled into Crater Lake real late. And we didn't feel like setting up a tent or anything like this. We said, let's just sleep in the car. But I had to leave the ice chest outside. But we were at the end of the trip. and it was pretty well, the milk was spoiled, I think, and all that stuff. I wake up at about 5:30 in the morning just as light was coming up. What should be going through my ice chest but a bear? A little, probably a 1-year-old bear. He probably had a stomachache. He ate the bacon, drank the milk, and anything else that was in there. I'm sure he had a stomachache. But that was one of them, and another one, and the other one, we were up at Tuolumne Meadows, my wife and I only, that we were camping in a tent, and I snore quite a bit, especially when I'm out camping, and my wife felt something alongside the tent. She said, Larry, what's going on? And I didn't really wake all the way up, and the next thing I know, she's getting very hysterical because the bear pulled the flap back on the tent to see where all the noise was coming from. I think it scared you-know-what out of her, but it went on and didn't bother us anymore. All right, Bob, good talking to you, and good meeting you again today. KE6MAE.
Well, that's a great bear tent story for sure. Wow. That's that thin layer of nylon. I mean, when I did all my backpacking and camping in the tents and stuff, you felt kind of secure, even though anything that was out there to get you, it could just go right through it. But you did feel, well, like snakes and stuff couldn't get in. But if you had everything zipped up, it just felt kind of secure, just with all that nylon tent material. And I guess the old days they had the canvas too. But yeah, it sounds great. Well, thank you, Larry. Great to see you today too. Really made my day. Let's say hello to Monty. Giant quail overhead. I think you came up with that. You looked at me like I made up that one, but it's a great moniker. Go ahead, Monty. Welcome. Great to see you today.
Hey, Bob. Everybody on the net. This is Monty, KE6GQO on Papa 23. And I used to hike all the time and enjoyed it. I still hike. I used to do a hike from Tuolumne Meadows to the valley down in, Tuolumne Meadows to the valley. Anyways, we would just simply hang our food. We never had a problem, so that was cool. I'm glad we never did. But I do have a big bear problem up here. We have trash cans up here in Big Bear that have little locks on them. And believe it or not, the things that break into them, of course, are bears, but are the donkeys. They come around, they take their nose, they unlock the thing and tip the trash can over and start at it. So, yeah, that's about all I have for a food storage story. If they want to get in, they're going to get in. Anyways, it was great seeing everybody at the fiesta today. We had a wonderful time. I couldn't believe all the solar panels that were given away and batteries. That was insane. That was pretty cool. And it was good seeing Bob. It was good seeing all the Bobs there. And the restaurant itself, that was my first time there. It was incredible. Everything from a dedicated taco room to, the mariachis to the big buffet area and, of course, the bar. I couldn't get anything to drink because I had to go drive. I really wanted a margarita. Anyways, back to net. Thank you very much. KE6GQO.
That's what was missing, was the margarita. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. There was so much food to enjoy and people and friendship. Wasn't that something you had to go out to the front? I said, where do you guys get the tacos? And everyone's going, you got to go out the front door. I'm like, what? So you go out there, this lady, of course, we kind of saw her on her way in, but I didn't think about it. And you go out there and she's like, and everyone was so nice. I don't know if anybody encountered anything different, but all the wait staff and the manager that was kind of running around just didn't help us any more than they did. They were just so nice to us. So yeah, you're right. It won't be the last time I go there. It may be the next fiesta, but and RJ, I can see RJ now. I don't know if he's still listening, but he's probably sitting there just like wiping his brow going, whew, I dodged that one. You did good, RJ. You did good. Let's say thank you, Bonnie. Let's talk to Scott. Alpha Romeo. I didn't catch the front part because everyone else was coming in. So give me your prefix to your, or just give me your whole call sign, and welcome to the Great Outdoors.
Good evening, Bob. It's N6ZAR, Scott. It was great meeting you today and Carolyn and a lot of the other Papa members for the first time. A great venue, great celebration. It was a lot of fun today. Also want to express my gratitude for all the donations. We got a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate that. K4HD has already handed some of this stuff out, and hope we can share some pictures of that shortly. Thank you again for that. Thanks again for a great net. Lots of information. I don't really have too much to add. I have a small little piece of land in Apple Valley where I go camping, and typically it's just weekends. So I just take a cooler and leave it outside, rather than firing up the fridge and waiting for it to get cold and things like that. Maybe now I'm not going to leave it outside for very much longer. But with that, Bob, I'll send it back to you. And like I said, it was great meeting you. N6ZAR.
Oh, now I feel stupid. Gosh, I didn't know it was you. But it was kind of a big pile up there, so that was understandable. But yeah, Scott, it was so great to meet and talk to you. Talked your ear off. You're probably going, God, this guy just won't leave me alone. But you were so fun to chat with, and it was great that we were able to bring in some things for the homeless and shelterless. Definitely thank you to you guys for being there and doing that. It's there's a lot of people play a big part in the fiesta too, and like Darren running around doing the MC. I mean, it's it's not just like we go sit down, and when you're working the actual fiesta, but he enjoys it, I think, and I don't think he'd do it if he didn't. But he does such a great job. Thank you so much. Really did, like I said, enjoyed meeting you, and glad you came over and introduced yourself, because I really didn't put the two together right away. Of course, when you're seeing so many people. Well, thank you, and got you in the log now. November 6th, ZAR. Oh well, I should have known that. Let's say hello to Jeff. KJ6 WTN. Heard you earlier, but we got you in the log again. So welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Bob. For reference, it's Kilo Charlie 6 Whiskey Tango November. I'm a lot older than the KJs, so to speak. Nothing really useful for the net other than checking in and saying it was great to see and talk with you and Carolyn today. So it was a good day and a good fiesta. One question I did have that's pertinent, kind of, and it's a hypothetical question. Don't they make some kind of repellent spray that you could spray down your ice chest or something that would make your food, either make critters not want to go near it, or at least mask it, so that way critters wouldn't smell it or something like that? Just a random hypothetical question. Back to net control. Thanks for doing the net. KC6 WTN.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I corrected it. I had it right at the top. I guess just because I was writing down a suffix, I wasn't able to put it in. I just had to guess. Should have looked up a little further up the log there. That's a good one. That's a good question and or idea. They make things like coyote yarn. How do you say it? Oh boy. But they make different things to ward off small animals, because I guess they could kind of smell that and reference it to maybe a coyote or a wolf or something like that. So I don't know of anything specific, but I plan on looking that one up. That sounds like a good, maybe that'd be a good topic for one night. I'm always looking for topics, Hey, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it was great. I'm glad you were just behind us. It was easy to just turn around and say hey. All right, let's continue on, and where am I right now? Oh, we're at the Andy. And then we got Rory and Mikey coming up. KO6 KPZ, welcome, Andy. I thought you were going to be there today. I think I heard you say something, but maybe not. Welcome to the Great Outdoors.
Well, I'll be down at Del Sur, but not up there, which I wish I could have been. But no, as far as bear stories, keep your food up. I used to do the elevated thing, tied up in a tree, and a bear got it out of the tree. I quit doing that. My wife and I went to Gray's Meadow up to 395, and we had a week's worth of food, and a bear attacked our cooler, left outside of our van. I mean, she just demolished our cooler, took everything off, till I woke up in the morning. And I can't believe I never heard it, because all our screens in the van was open and everything else. But the camp host, we reported to the camp host that she wanted us to walk around and tell everybody our story, everything else the night before. And yeah, I said, no thank you. I don't want to be the first loser. Anyways, back to you, Bob. KO6 KBC.
Wow. That's, yeah, just rip the cooler apart. Well, yeah, that's a good bear. They're really not bear stories, but it seems like that's the type of animal that would most likely get into anything pretty severely. I know, like, raccoons and stuff, they're pretty good with their little hands, but if they've got good latches. The one cooler that we have is nice. It's actually a refrigerator, but it's made like a cooler, and it's got really good latches on it. A bear probably could get into it, but probably nothing else, I think, if you're good with it. But it's a pretty good size, and it's, like I said, it's actually a refrigerator freezer, so those are nice, 12 volt. So we use that, and I think, who was it? Scott was talking about taking his ice chest out there, but you can do something like that maybe and be a little bit safer. And then instead of the trailer, it takes a couple hours to get the refrigerator going, although it works really well. But we'll take a lot of our stuff in that and carry it, and that way and then we'll just leave it outside at night with drinks in it. But this is, where we camp, I don't think there's any bears, but there's never been a problem with it up at Lake Casitas. But they do have other things that come around. All right, Andy. Well, yeah, I didn't know. Maybe you said you were going to the Fiesta and it was down the one in South, but I was looking for you. There was a Randy, and I was like, no, it's not Randy, it's Andy. Wait a minute. So, anyway, Rory. Yeah, I heard through the grapevine through, who was that? Monty, I think he said. He talked to you, and you said hello to Bob. So I hope you're still there. Whiskey 8, KNX. Welcome, Rory. Are you off tomorrow?
W8KNX, good evening, Bob. It would have been Brian, WA6JFK. He managed to find one of our nets here in the Detroit area and has been checking in on Thursday nights from time to time. We have an informal round table type thing that he's been managing to connect in through All-Star. So I had heard through the grapevine you guys were having your party today, so I told him that to tell you guys that I said hello. I said it's a small world when those things happen, but all sorts of comments tonight. I of course, Michigan and Upper Michigan, we do have plenty of bear, and a couple people have commented on what's one of our largest problems, and that's them getting in the trash. And it used to be up in the Upper Peninsula would be where we would see the secure trash to keep bear out, but we're starting to see more of those down at the northern part of the Lower Peninsula as the bear population seems to be spreading. But yeah, I know I've been camping up in various parts of up north, and have been visited by bear on several occasions in the night, but never had any problem with them. I remember I was fairly young. My parents had just acquired a chunk of property up there, and they were young too. And we had taken all our stuff into our small cabin and left, forgotten something. I couldn't tell you what, but we had to run back into town, and they just left everything outside. Well, anyway, when we came back, the two of the bags were being carried down the 2-track road by a couple of raccoons, so we didn't leave anything outside anymore, but that's all right. Yeah, I do have to watch for those things, but right now not too much of a concern, as it's only 14 degrees here tonight outside of Detroit. But enjoying the conversation, Bob. The holiday cycle at work, I'll be able to don't have a full chunk of days off for the holiday, but couple intermittent days here and there, so I might pop on a few of these nets if I'm up late enough. So very good to hear everybody, very good to hear the Outdoor Net. 7-3, back to you, Bob, WAKNX.
And WDCIK, originally from Detroit. Go ahead, Bob.
Yep, that's Steve. And I think you guys talked one time. I remember that. You guys were swapping stories from the Detroit area. Motor City, the good old Motor City. Well, yeah, it was Brian. Now that when you said that, I went, yeah, I guess it was Brian. I haven't seen Brian in person. I've talked to him, texted with him all the time here and there, but actually to see him in person, it's been a while. And that's what he told me when I first saw him. And I said, yeah, I know. And he goes, how do you know him? I said, D-Star. I said, he's used to come in pretty much a regular every Tuesday night, when he could. And then he comes in now with his All-Star or something when he can too. So, yeah, come on by. You're always welcome, of course, and love to hear what's going on up that way. Not so much the 17 degrees part, but hey, it's 62 inside this shack right now, and that's kind of comfortable. But yeah, take care and enjoy the holidays. If I don't talk to you before then, but hopefully I will. And I'm going to take, last but not least, Mikey. I think getting down to that bewitching hour where we got to kind of throttle it back a little bit. And I have a KJ7. I know I saw you there today from Las Vegas. So give me the full call. I think I have KJ7, maybe an IJ, something. But either way, I was writing fast. And welcome.
Hi, this is KJ7, Kilo Juliet 7, India, Yankee Charlie Mikey from Las Vegas. Just wanted to get on tonight and say we had some fun today at the Fiesta. It was great. Won some raffles. And we'll see you guys again. KJ7 IYC, back to net.
And Mikey was a big winner. He won some good stuff. I think when you first won the first prize, everyone's going, well, that was worth the trip from Vegas. So good job. Yeah. You did good. I forgot what all you won, but I guess I could probably take a stab and say you might have won a battery, but I think you even won more than that. And I think it was Gene that won the 5100 ICOM. So that was like I said, that's almost, and I think someone had mentioned, maybe it was RJ, that some clubs that would be the grand prize, So that was a good prize though either way. And of course, all of the radios from Bob and Marvin and everybody was always a great prize for sure. Anytime you win anything, it's worth that. Oh yeah, one more. I think that's Steve. Okay, let's pause it. I'll put the crickets back in, and come on, Steve.
Sorry about that. I'll keep it quick and short. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get on earlier, but just rolled into the home QTH here. Anyway, yeah, of course, when you get on the backcountry, a lot of places require the bear boxes, and any of the trips that I was on with our big group, if you will, it was pretty much, do the best as you can, and we used to hang food, and that did okay. We never had any problems. But the owner, or the guy that's kind of organizing our trips, came up with his own version of a, how would you call it, tubular telescoping system, where depending on the size of the group, how many sections you bring along, and when you put them together at camp, it's all nice and slippery and stainless steel, and it really does we never had a single problem with it. And a number of the Rangers thought that was kind of a cool design, but that's going back. But anyway, it is something to keep track of. That's for sure. Anyway, thanks for doing the net, and very favorite topic, of course. WA6 Foxtrot Golf Whiskey 73, and have a great one.
And I hear Adrian. You can come in a second there. Yeah, Steve, no worries. No, you're always welcome. And if you're late, that's fine. You can go back and listen. You can go back and listen tomorrow.
This is Derek with a net announcement for the Papa Great Outdoor Net. On the Papa System homepage, just drop down to the YouTube tab, and you can check out the latest outdoor net archive on the Papa System. You can like and subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest. This is a non-for-profit podcast.
Yep. Yeah, I don't make a dime. Neither does the Papa System, but that's okay. It's amateur radio. All right. Well, just to give us a good time to throw that in there. And, all right. And Adrian, welcome back. And we'll take you as our last. Go ahead, Adrian.
Thank you, Bob. This is Adrian, KK6HNG. Talking of this subject, I have a very interesting story to tell. That was about 1.5 years or so when I did Kearsarge Pass all the way to Charlotte Lake on the other side. So anyway, long story short, it was a 3-day trip. Come back to the cars and saw some big stickers on them, on some of them, not really all, but most of them. And I say, I may have needed a pass or something. They are going to fine us. What the heck is happening there? So then I got closer and looked at the sticker. And there were two kinds of them. One of them were saying, thank you for putting everything out of sight and leaving the car clean and so and such. The others were saying, look, we noticed this, we noticed that, we noticed that. Please do better next time so that we can keep bears and stuff safe. And of course, all of them were signed by the ranger in charge there. So I said, wow, I kept that sticker. Mine was the good guy sticker. And I still have it right now and have it there as a memory. And yes, the bears have also good visual memory. So they will go into a Yeti just because, not necessarily because it smells, but because they may have got into another one and found something in it. So it has to be not only not smelling, but out of sight as well. So thank you, Bob, for doing the net. KK6HNG.
Very good point. Yeah, I didn't think much about the, being out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, out of smell. But right, exactly. That's a good point. So good. I'm glad you added that in at the end. I mean, I was thinking just like, okay, I'm just going to run this topic tonight, and I know we've had the Fiesta. We all had a good time, and most people were here on tonight that were there, and we'll just go with the topic, just to kind of finish out the food, series and the Great Outdoors thing. I would have thought we'd have over 20 check-ins, so I am really impressed and very happy. So thank you guys all for, and ladies. Do we have any ladies tonight? No, Carolyn didn't come in, but she's probably listening. So thank everyone for being here and attending, and enjoyed it very, very much. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the closing crickets and say thank you. And I want to say thank you to the Papa System, and thank you to Villa Katrina today again. Boy, good job. Thumbs up. I read a review just last night, and it was good. They said, oh yeah, where did this little gym come from? So can't beat handmade corn tortillas. No way. Especially if you can put some carne asada or what was the other thing I ate? But anyway, it was all good. Street tacos. They were like street tacos because you had to walk out to the street to get them. All right. I'll continue. Thank you, Cecil. Wish you were there, but thank you for being a legendary leadership here and helping us all out. And thanks to everybody who goes to the mountaintops, Darren and Steve and Ira, and who else do we have out there? We got Ed. We were recognizing all the behind-the-scene people out there. Of course, all the net controllers, because I are one, and thank everyone for being there for those guys too and supporting the nets. That's important. Just come and say hello. You don't have to be anything on topic. We just like to hear from you and know that you're there. I mean, we know a few people are out there just listening, and that's fine too. And with that, I'm going to close the net at, oh my gosh, we've gone over 21:31. Now I've got a lot of editing to do tomorrow, but I'll clean it up nice. And if you want to come back and hear it without all the scratchy boops and bops and things like that, you can check it out over there on the YouTube page through the Papa system, or just go there and say is it Bob? W6EJX? Yeah, I think you'll find it that way. All right, 7-3, have a great week ahead. And we started here so that Monday's not a soft Monday, and not so big. And we'll be closed. 7-3 all.